Hello, my name is Sofia, and in this video I will explain my journal of author. As for the materials used to develop this diary, I used a black notebook, photos, and reused materials from other practices and from my home. Now, taking into account the different techniques I use, I will highlight the collage that is on different pages of the journal, the graffiti, different types of drawing, written text, and so on. What I wanted to show through this journal is my passage through the subject in an artistic way in which I could express the different feelings that I have experienced throughout this course. I also thought it would be interesting to include some of the work done in class to create a final product after everything I had experienced and learned. On the other hand, I wanted to highlight that this journal has certain characteristic things, such as, for example, the golden color and the Greek theme. Not only because of my practice number 1, in which I focused on Hellenistic sculpture, but also because I have been including more things about that topic that you will see now. On the first page there is my favorite painting, which is one by Degas, a very relevant artist in Impressionism. I wanted to start this diary with this work as it is very special to me, and I have included quite a few things related to art, but also to my tastes and interests, such as the Impressionist painting. I also include a poem about art and a kiss with red lipstick because I wanted to give like a kind of romantic and personal touch to this journal. So in these pages we can see a trump card that symbolizes my beginning in this subject, and around it words that show how I felt at the beginning, and then a collage that represents a very recurrent question at the beginning of the subject in me, like I didn't know what to expect. So this course has helped me to unblock past knowledge and to interconnect with other areas, as can be seen in the page where I introduce the dichotomy of the Apollinian and the Dionysian, something I learned in philosophy and which for me is related to art in some way. And in the other two pages there are two drawings of how I felt depending on the day. There were days when everything was a mess and others very productive and creative. So on these pages I have represented the classical techniques with a drawing of a temple of antiquity, and the modern ones with a bit of graffiti spray. I also include the link to a song that I was listening to while I was doing it. Next, I have introduced another concept that comes from the Greek and with which I feel identified, and it is this that means pleasure and pain at the same time. This happened to me sometime during the subject. In these pages I have included all the sketches that I did for practical one. In the first page is represented all the work that we had to do. This is a man who has to get to the other side of the mountain. Also I have included a practice that we did in class with rubber and ink, a poem, and on the other page some burnt pages that symbolize the uncertainty that we had about the performance and our theme that was the idiots. So the performance is represented above with the wool we used and the letters, since our theme has to do with language. Below I have included my favorite paintings as well as some of Van Gogh's paintings that we work with in class. Finally, these are the last pages, and I wanted to comment that I really enjoyed doing this journal in which I have been able to show myself and what I have learned. At the end, I include some photos of practices done in class, and I have to highlight the one we did with real students that was essential for acquire vital experience for our future as teachers.